Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Chris. For those of you who don't yet know me, I'm a holistic health coach and a trained chef, and I help moms find balance in every area. Today we are digging into the second in my Spring Clean Kitchen series. Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Chris. For those of you who don't yet know me, I'm a holistic health coach and a trained chef, and my mission is to help moms find balance in food, wellness, and every area of mom life. Today we are digging into part 2 in my Spring Clean Your Kitchen series, which is in conjunction with my free Spring Clean Your Kitchen challenge that's going on over on Facebook. If you are interested in learning how to declutter and refresh your kitchen for a more efficient kitchen that helps you to live a healthier, happier, more balanced life, then come and join us. I will put all of the information in the link in the description box down below. Like I mentioned, it's totally free. It's just a place for us to connect and for me to give you my best tips, tools, and tricks for having a more efficient kitchen that works for you, that helps you to live a more balanced life. And in this series, I am sharing with you how I do the same myself by doing a little bit of a spring clean, a declutter of my kitchen, of my fridge, of my freezer, and of my pantry. And in the last video, I shared with you a whole declutter and reorganize of my kitchen, which was already a pretty efficient kitchen, but it just goes to show there are always things that we can get rid of and always ways that we can improve for more efficiency and just to make things easier for us. And today, I'm gonna do the same thing with my fridge and my freezer. So I'm gonna take you through the whole process of going through a deep clean of my fridge. I'm gonna give you a tour of the before of my fridge and my freezer. We're gonna go through and we're gonna go shelf by shelf. We're gonna take everything out. We're gonna clean it out. We are going to refresh the organization of it to make it work for you and your family so that living a healthy, balanced life is just that much easier. And that's always my goal, is to help you guys take the stress out of healthy living, to make balanced eating feel easy for you and your family. And so let's go ahead, let's dig into the fridge, let's declutter, let's refresh, and let's spring clean our fridge. Okay friends, this is it. This is a tour of the before of my fridge. It is probably a little dirty. It is definitely messy. And despite the fact that I do actually have a system in place for organizing my fridge, it could definitely use a refresh. And there are some specific things that I share with the women I work with to organize their fridge in a way that's efficient. And so I'm going to apply those same things to my current system when it comes to my fridge. So you can see on the top of my fridge over here, I've got a lot of like hummuses and sauces, and I've also got my dairy and my eggs. Down on the middle shelf over here, I have some milk and juice and nut milk, some leftover coffee. I also keep my greens and my herbs on the second shelf, and then any other kind of drinks we have are over there. I think I'm going to be refreshing this shelf just a little bit because it works, but it's kind of hard to get to some of the things in that shelf. And then up here is where kind of all of the deli items are, and I definitely need a refresh of that because it's really hard to get to the cheeses and the meats and the things like that that are in there. And we use those all the time for lunches and for daycare. And then there's the bottom shelf, which you guys know that I am a big fan of meal prep, food prep. And so down here is just kind of an amalgamation of leftovers and meal prepped items that definitely needs a better system because it's not quite working the way I want to. And then the bottom, these areas are actually pretty organized, but this is just my vegetables. I keep my fruit on the counter unless it's berries. But that is the main part of my fridge. It's certainly not the worst, but could definitely use a refresh. Okay, coming over to the door here, first of all, yes, there is duct tape on my fridge door. We live in a 1,200 square foot apartment, so our fridge is very small and the fridge is not ours. So it does need to be repaired, but they have chosen not to repair it yet. So it is what it is. We got butter up here. I also have a couple bars back there as well. These are all of our large variety of condiments. I love condiments. I love sauces. I love creating things with other sauces, but there is definitely room for improvement in the organization over here. And then also I think a lot of this needs to be cleaned out as well. And then down here, we've got some supplements, some more condiments, some homemade dressings, things like that. And then on the bottom shelf, this is kind of like our fun drink shelf. My husband and I love making fun cocktails, but we don't make them that often, so we still have a lot of leftover. This is our favorite brand of cocktail syrup, and then a couple other syrups that my husband has made himself. So that is what is going on our shelf. I can't wait to show you the after of this crazy, unorganized fridge. All right, let's go ahead and dig into the freezer. Again, this is an apartment-sized freezer, so it is small, and it is jam-packed because we get a lot of freezer goods. So we get butcher box meat, and I store a lot of leftovers in the freezer. A lot of these little things are like ends of bread that I planned on using for croutons or giving to the ducks, and I have not. So a lot that needs to be cleaned out in here. In the main part of the freezer, I'm not going to dig super deep into this because, you guys, there's so much here. I've got a bunch of meat over here, and there was a system. You can see remnants of the system up here that's just not working anymore. I've got a couple bins up there. That's fruit for smoothies and frozen veggies, but then there's overflow there. We've got some bread. We have some frozen pizza. We've got some, ice packs and ice. The ice pack's actually my mom's. I have to return. A bunch of cauliflower rice, a bunch of frozen veggies. So we are definitely in need of a new system when it comes to our freezer. Okay, everything is out of the main compartment of the fridge and it is all on the counter. So now I'm gonna go ahead and make sure there is nothing that's expired, get rid of anything I need to get rid of, and we are going to start replacing, and then I will work on the door. Okay, starting on the top shelf over here, the only difference I did over in this corner is just take some of those eggs. I always have a couple dozen eggs, and I just replaced them in that nice kind of blue container for easy access because we eat a lot of eggs. I've got my heavy cream and my creamers, and then way in the back, I have some biscuits we like to use for a couple of recipes. We don't use them often, so anything we don't use as often, I put in the back. Anything we use more often, I put in the front. So I've got a couple dips here, sour cream, Kalamata hummus. And then over here, if you can see it, I made this the sort of like lunch meat, I don't know, bin. So it has the deli meat that I'm using for the week and some string cheese for easily putting together lunches, because like I said, this drawer just so easily got over full with that stuff. So this is a really great solution to make that easier. And I have some tortillas on top, and so I will use that for tortillas or bread whenever we go about defrosting that, because usually I buy several loaves at Trader Joe's and then defrost. And then this drawer I'm so happy with. It's so much more organized. I just have some goat cheese and some unexpected cheddar in the back. There's a little salami in the back as well too, that we use more for snacking than lunches. There's some cream cheeses from Dunkin' Donuts and just some shredded cheese in the front. So just way more organized, way easier to find. Over here on the middle shelf over here, way in the back, I've got my sourdough starter, which I'm not using quite now, but I'm going to start using again soon. Some cranberry juice. I've got some milk and some almond milk. Again, the things we use most often in the front. We don't eat a ton of yogurt. The kids do like yogurt, but because I typically take out the almond milk about the same time as I take out the yogurt, I decided to move it down there because it seemed like an easier spot than trying to get it from up top there. And then I use this little bin for any of the drinks that we have. We've got a couple beers in the back, a couple ciders, and then these Culture Pop sodas, which are so good. And then my greens are over here as well. I do like using the OXO produce savers as well, but right now these are the containers I have, and so I'm just stacking them there. And this is pretty typical that we have 2 of those there, so that's a good setup for me. Down here on the bottom, I ended up moving the Pro Bugs down to the bottom. The kids love those, and so I figured I can use that for yogurt or, the kefirs, so the kids can just grab them. Easy way that they can grab at least part of their breakfast by themselves, and I'm all about independence with the kids. And then over here, I have my meal prep stuff. So the only real kind of rule that I follow here is that I like to keep the uncooked things together and the cooked things together. So in the back there's more of like the uncooked, ready to cook things. And then over here, I have like cooked chicken and a couple meals that I made for some recipe testing. Over here, back here is where I will either put meat or like some vegetarian proteins back here. I have a little bin back there with some tofu and some tempeh, and then the meat in the front because I don't want to mix those together, but I did want a place to kind of gather those proteins together. And then in the drawers down here, like I mentioned, the only real categories I have for my drawers, they're mostly just vegetables. These are vegetables to cook. I do have a giant head of lettuce in here that we're using tonight for taco night, and normally the lettuce is in here, but it didn't fit. So these are typically vegetables to cook, and these are typically vegetables or fruit that we're going to use raw. There's a little bit of turmeric in the back there. I've got some grapes, some Persian cucumbers, and then a couple little just like salad mixes for quick lunches. And that is it for the fridge. I am really, really happy with how it all turned out. All right, I can't forget the door over here. I didn't change anything over here on the top. This is just our butters, and then I have a couple Perfect bars back there because they need to be kept in the refrigerator too, and that's the best spot for me. Over here, I just kind of organize the condiments by things that need to be used in the front, and then things that we don't use as much in the back, like tamarind paste and fish sauce and fig jam. We just don't use those as much as we do like the pasta sauce that needs to be used, or the blackberry jam, or the sriracha, which I love so much. Ketchup, mustard, salad dressings, those are all in the front because they all need to be used up first. And so I kept most of the condiments on this shelf, and then moving down to this shelf over here, I decided to move the herbs to the door. They are in, you can't really see, but they're in mason jars with water because they act really well when they are treated as the plants they are. I've got some fermented veggies. This shelf is just a little bit wider than the one above, so it's great to keep these fermented veggies. So I have sauerkraut and kimchi in the back. I've got some pickles. I have our favorite Primal Kitchen mayo if I don't make it myself, some homemade barbecue sauce, some Primal Kitchen barbecue sauce, and some teriyaki. I have little ranch packets for on-the-go meals, even though we're not really on the go very much these days. I have some cashew parmesan I made, a couple supplements, just some probiotics back there. And the only thing I changed down here is I got rid of the Simple Mills frosting that wasn't really good anymore and added the maple syrup down there. So these are all kind of our sweet things. So that's it for the door. So you will have to be sure to join us in the Spring Clean Your Kitchen Challenge so you understand a little bit more of the method behind my madness and how you can organize your own fridge to be the most efficient you can. Hey friends, so it has been several days now since I tackled my fridge organization because #momlife. It is what it is. I had hoped to do it all in one day, but alas, it's a few days later now. So I'm gonna go ahead and take you through my freezer organization, and I'm gonna do the same thing as I did with my fridge. I'm gonna take everything out, I'm gonna clean it out, and I'm gonna reorganize it in a way that actually works, in a way that I can actually see what's inside the freezer, so I can actually use the things in the freezer in my cooking. So let's go ahead and let's tackle the freezer. Okay, let's go ahead and dive into the freezer. Honestly, you guys, this was one of the harder organizational projects that I have done. Our freezer was packed, and there was definitely things in there that we don't use as often that I needed to get rid of, but there is still a lot in our tiny apartment size freezer. But what I was finding for a number of years is that too often things got freezer burnt in the back of the freezer because I didn't use them, and then I just wasted them. So rather than packing my freezer full, I really want everything to be accessible so I can use things a lot easier. So where this is probably not the most ideal freezer that I could have, absolutely, it's very small. I think I'm making it work in the best way possible. So I'll take you through a little tour of what I did and what it looks like now. So on the top shelf here, I just have some of these little Bambino pizzas the kids love. We like to keep those on hand just for a quick dinner, especially if we want to do like a date night at home or something like that. The kids can have little pizzas. I honestly couldn't find a better place for the bacon, so it's just next to there. And then I've got our ice cube tray up there. I've got some ice cream up here. We love the Trader Joe's ice cream. And behind it, that is my overflow frozen fruit. I love to stock up on frozen fruit at Trader Joe's when I go. I don't go to Trader Joe's every week because it's about 45 minutes away, but it's not always easy to find a spot for that. But we eat a lot of frozen fruit, especially in smoothies. And speaking of smoothies, over here, I have everything that I use in my smoothies, or most of the things I use in my smoothies. So I have open bags. I love these little bins from the Container Store for open packages of things. So I've got open bags of blueberries and mango and kale and things like that that I put in my smoothies. And then over here is quite a few frozen vegetables, and these are mostly open frozen fruit and vegetables as well. So I have a little stasher bag full of kind of odds and ends that I use in broth, and then also some cooked vegetables that I needed to freeze, some organic peas, some organic corn, and peppers and onions up there. And you'll see where I put the rest of the unopened frozen vegetables in just a sec. Over here, I really wanted a spot for the meat that we get. We get an order from ButcherBox every couple of months, so we always have frozen meat on hand. So this bin is most of the poultry we have. There's also some from other stores in there. And this bin is mostly kind of cooked meat or meat-free options. So there's like some Impossible meat in there, and there's a few chicken nuggets left, and there are chicken sausages. So that's mostly poultry. There's also some beef in there, and then these are mostly like the cooked meat items. I just kind of wanted to keep those separate. In the front here, I have the ButcherBox salmon because I honestly could not find a better place for it, but it does fit well tucked in right there. And then this little space right here is for frozen vegetables that this one's open because I like to use frozen cauliflower in smoothies, but basically unopened frozen vegetables go all the way to the back over there. And then I have more of these chicken nuggets. They were on sale at Whole Foods, so we had to get 2 bags of them because the kids really love them. They're dino nuggets. Any of you mamas understand? So this is something that was kind of shoved into the door, but I use almond flour and flaxseed pretty often, but not like so often that I feel okay keeping it out. Anything that's ground, any sort of nuts or seeds that are ground tend to go rancid pretty fast, so I wanted to make sure that those stay in the freezer, so I put them in big mason jars and they are being stored over there. And then moving over to the door over here, I definitely did some reorganizing on the door. I took a bunch of things that weren't good out. I've got some broth on the top, some of my sister's dangerous limoncello. I had the hardest time finding a place for this little Panera mac and cheese, but my daughters love it, so that's a fun dinner option sometimes. I've got ice packs on the top. Down here I have my stash of Mama's chocolates. I've got some Cute Kitchen and some Alter Eco and some Theo chocolates over there. And my brother-in-law makes the best chocolate coconut macaroons in the entire universe, so I keep a stack of those in there. I've got some sprouted grain bread. We like to keep bread in the freezer, so we always have it on hand, and then we'll keep it in the fridge, especially in the warmer months when we defrost it. And then this is some paleo bread that we've got in there as well. So that is our reorganized freezer. It was definitely a project, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. So there you have it, my fridge and my freezer all reorganized and ready for us to live our healthy, balanced life in a way that's just a little bit easier. Having my fridge and my freezer organized is such a great way to avoid food waste, to save money, because we're actually utilizing the things we have on hand. It is way easier to eat balanced meals when we can see what we have and we can create meals with the things in our fridge and our freezer instead of having to run to the grocery store and, you know, maybe we don't want to do that and we grab takeout. Just something as simple as a fridge organization really can make a difference in living a healthier, happier, more balanced life, and a stress-free one at that, which is what I am all about. So I hope you enjoyed this fridge and freezer declutter, reorganization, and tour. If you liked this video, go ahead and give me a like down below. If you like more videos like this and you want more recipes, tips, and tools to live a healthier, more balanced life, then subscribe. I share new videos every week, and if you are not yet a part of the Spring Clean Your Kitchen Challenge, we would love to have you. It's 100% free, like I mentioned in the beginning. The link is in the description box below. You can come and join us in the Facebook group. We are all sharing how we are all in this together, reorganizing our kitchens, our fridge, our freezers, and our pantries to live a more healthy, balanced life and to make it easier. Thank you so much for watching, friends, and I'll catch you in the next video.